welcome to my channel. Welcome to Faces Old and New. Welcome to my subscribers. It is lovely to welcome you into this new year. So happy new year from me. I've not been on for about a week because I've been busy with family. We just seem to have had so much happen this week. My eldest daughter and her husband went back up to Durham. My youngest, which is my son, and his girlfriend moved house very quickly because a house came up for rent that they just couldn't refuse. So they've moved out. So I seem to have spent my time moving people, washing bedding, ironing, and doing all those other boring household chores. So here I am anyway. And I put a picture on my Instagram and my Facebook, Be Divine Vintage, and had lots of people comment on the item that I'd made and asked me how I'd made them. So I'm going to show you. So they are here. It is some flowers, and they're in this altered file folder that I'm working on. So let's just go into the file folder. If you remember, we did this last time. This little pocket. This is where I'm up to here. I put this little tag in there. Really like that with that little, like a slide. Can we see that? Oop. Yes, you can with the slide and little tiny envelope there. So then, I stamped all these journal pages with page number 10, 11, 12, 13. Sometimes I sort of would put, say, 14 as two numbers, 1 and 4. Then I might put 15 as like an X, V in Roman numerals. Then I might put 16 written, 16. So sometimes I like to mix up how I number my pages, but this one is all just purely numbered. I've tried to go a little bit, this is done intentionally, the offsetting is not perfect. So that's the journal. I have put a few things in this little pocket. Oh, what's that? I thought it was a piece of toast. I don't know what that would be doing in there because I normally don't eat and craft, but it was a piece of cardboard. So in here, this little pocket, for now I've just stuck in some tickets, and I've put some of these, got these vintage postcards, and they came in like a little box, like one of this type of things, from the 1960s, and these are from Heidelberg, from my grandma and granddad. I remember them going to Heidelberg when I was a little girl, and those were a box of the postcards that they'd brought back. So that fits nicely into there. I just put them a couple of tickets in for now. I'm not sure if they'll stay there, but they're there. So this side's coming along nicely. So over on this side of the file folder, I've put some of those postcards in these pockets. So these are pockets with big, like a journaling card that I've put in there. There's 3 of those, and there's 3 more Heidelberg tiny postcards. But the thing about these is they actually are, they're not like a postcard, they're actually like real photographs. Put a couple in there. Don't know if these will stay in, I've just sort of trying things out. And then here is like a little envelope journal. Let's get that a bit more centralised. So I've made this out of envelopes, obviously, that's why it's an envelope journal. I put some poems on from a vintage book called The Golden Staircase. And there's all sorts of poems in here. A lot of these I remember. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I love reading poetry, but when I was little, it was my mum would read my stories, but my dad would read my poetry. So I know a lot of these. So these envelopes are open at the side so that I can put something in. You can see inside there where I have stuck the poem over the envelope closure. So this is what I wanted to show you. Dun, da, 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 da. So many people said to me, how have you done that? So I thought, well, why not? Let's add another. So I'm going to put another one in one of these sort of early pages. So what I did is I watched lots and lots of people on YouTube and what have you making these pop-up flowers and worked it out for myself what to do. So first of all, whatever the opening that you're putting them in, so be it this size, be it maybe this size, whatever, is you want the length of one of the pages measurement. So you could be putting them in like a little, sort of like a little book like this, but ultimately it's that length that you need to measure, because you want a square the same length as that signature. This is me hitting the ruler on the tripod there. Right, so this is 4 and 2 and 2 little bits after the inch. I don't know what they are. Or 1 millimetre under 11 centimetres, so 10.9 centimetres. So I am working on the 10.9 centimetres because that's what I'm used to. So what you need to do is you want 7 squares at 10.9 centimetres. Now I have made up most of my flowers here, and I will demonstrate on 2 flowers to show you what to do. So you need, on your paper that you're going to use, measure in, so I want 10.9 centimetres. Yep. And then this paper I'm using is from the Boys' Own magazine, which is Victorian, and it's from the 1860s, so it's nearly 200 years old. Very, very delicate paper. And then I just mark it where I want it to be, crease and burnish it, and then because of the age of this paper it just tears so easily. Then I make 7 squares, so obviously I need more than that to make 7 squares. So the easiest way to make the square, remember doing this at primary school or kindergarten or whatever it's fondly known as. So I fold across there, tear, a bit overexcited there, tear, and that gives you a square. So you want 7 of those, and these should be the same width as your signature. Yep, so 7 of those. So next you fold it in half. You try, so you get 1 triangle. You fold it twice, and then you fold it 3 times. Try and be as precise as you possibly can with your folding so that you get good geometric shape with equal sides. Now if you turn your, let me just work this out. Yeah. Right, you turn your paper so that the opening and closing spine is on the left hand side, and at the top there shouldn't be any folds at the top, no folded paper. So your main folds are on your left, and your other folds, you should have 3 folds on your right, 1 on your left. And then you cut out a petal shape. Now, because I've already done these, I saved this flower. And what I do, I cut my petal shape, so just round it and round it. Then I put it on top. So I've got my big crease to the left, and the same on this folded flower petal. And then I just use that as a template to cut around. So that's the one that I've used as a template, and this is the other. Now, because this is nearly 200-year-old paper, I'm just going to strengthen it with some clear gesso. I'm just using the Winsor & Newton Artist's acrylic clear gesso. It comes out white. It looks white when you paste it on. However, it dries clear, and it also that is smooth, whereas this one with the gesso on is got that rougher feeling, so it gives tooth for your paint to hold on to. So there you go, you've got your basic flower shape strengthened. So just put that to the side to dry and show you what I did next. So I'm just trying to keep this new journal, altered file folder I'm making as neutral as possible. I want it blacks and whites and coffees, and I don't want to add a lot of colour. That's why I'm contemplating that red tag in there, and the blue one, because the tickets, because they don't actually fall in with my theme. Right, so what I did next, so this is where you can become as creative as you possibly want to be. Using whatever colours, you can splash paint onto it, you could wax the flowers, and there's so much you could do. But I'm keeping them all. I want them to be pretty simple and plain, like this. So 2 of your petals you're actually not going to use. So you've got 2, 4, 6, 8 petals. You only actually need 6. So what I did, I've got my antique linen Tim Holtz Distress Crayon, and I just sort of go onto 6 of them. Just put some colour on there, and then get my paintbrush. I've just got a little bit of paint, water on there, and you just colour paint that in, and that will just spread out. So you can use watercolours, you can use acrylics, you could use pencil crayon. You don't even have to do anything if you want to leave them just naturally. That's one. This is the second one. This is the one I've just gessoed, and it is actually just virtually dry. So again, just pick your 6 petals you want to use. And very gently again, just using a bit of your water, just paint that in. And I've seen these done where people put feathers in the middle of them, you know, coming out of the middle. I've seen them with little embellishments on the end of each flower. For what I'm making now, I don't want to do that. So mine are very, very plain. So that's antique linen. It's funny because I really wanted distress crayons for Christmas. I wanted the whole range. So we looked everywhere and out online. We went to craft shops everywhere. They were sold out. So I was gutted. So Mubby said, never mind, you know, we'll get some after Christmas when the madness has died down and not everybody wants them for Christmas presents. So I was whinging away because I wanted distress crayons. And I opened my drawer, my famous drawers, opened the drawer, and there was a pack of distress crayons in these natural shades. So I didn't even know I had them. That says something, doesn't it? So again, Ranger, Tim Holtz, this is walnut stain. I thought too, because I have got some gelatos. I bought those on eBay. They're pre-used ones, but they're good. They still do the trick. Right, so what do I do now? I do a little circle in the middle of each. Get my paintbrush again with a little bit of water on. I just went round like this and then I just flicked out. Yeah, over Christmas I wanted to do something every day. I had this box of things and I wanted to do like a what's in the box, and I had all sorts planned, but I just didn't get to do it. I think because I had family staying and people are coming and going, I'm cooking breakfast. Everybody likes a good full English breakfast, particularly like Boxing Day and things. I'm cooking full English breakfasts. Doing this, that and the other and looking after everybody and being a mother hen. Now, you can ink around the edges if you want to do, or I just go round again with my walnut stain, sticking to those 6 petals. Yeah, so I feel like been a mother hen, and now I'm absolutely exhausted. I said to hubby, let's just run away next Christmas, let's just go somewhere else. The thing is, my daughter, because she lives up near Durham, she has to come down here because all of her family and all of James's family are from down here, and there wouldn't be enough room for us all to go to her house. I mean, she's got a few bedrooms, but not enough for both families. Right, so I've gone around with distress crayon with the walnut again, and I'm just going around the edges with my wet paintbrush, damp paintbrush, and I'm just going round. So now I don't need to ink, but you can ink if you want to. And then I just got the black distress crayon and I put a few dots in the middle, and then I literally just went out like that. And this on the gesso, I wondered if it would sort of smudge, but it didn't. Do you know, actually I've not put any little dots in there. I'm just going to put some dots in the centre of these. I knew there was something I hadn't done. You know, when you think, what did I do? What have I done there? I was never any good at spot the difference. So even if I'd have had the ones I'd just done in front of me, I still probably wouldn't have even noticed that I'd done this. Do you remember Spot the Difference? I used to love them little quiz books when I was a little girl, those pocket puzzles. Do the Spot the Difference, and I could never quite get that last one, and then my mum always got it, and I'd be like, grr, that my mum had got it and I hadn't. Right, so put my dots on. So the next part, take your flour. Let's see, where's my smaller? I must have some smaller scissors. Good, you could like deckle edge cut out these flowers, couldn't you, as well? Do you know, I brought my own rule. I shouldn't have been using those scissors. Those are dressmaking scissors with the ribbon on. That's my rule, and I've just broke it. Right, so you got one of the petals you cut up to the middle. So that's why you don't need to decorate them. I'm keeping these petals because we'll probably use them again. So again, either one, it doesn't really matter, but I tend to stick with the same one because I know that all these don't all match perfectly. Right, so you've cut one out, you get your glue. I'm just using a very sticky tacky glue. So on the other one that you've not decorated, the other petal, put some glue just around the edge. I think my cat's crying. I think Olivia's heard she's revising now. She's got a medication and pharmacology exam coming up. She's got to get 100%, which, God, who gets 100%? I mean, fair enough, she's administering the medication. But what annoys me, and it always did when I was nursing as well, is if the medication is prescribed by the doctor. So again, I'm just folding over that petal like that, and I'm just going to secure it for a minute with these. So you're working in hospital as a nurse. I don't know about other countries, but in the UK, medications prescribed by the doctor. You look at the medication sheet and you administer it. Now, okay, so we all know an adult has 2 paracetamol. If you're working with adults, that is, so she's doing an adult training. This is different than when I did my paediatric nursing. So an adult usually would have 2 paracetamol. And you know that. So doctors prescribe medication and you administer it. Now, if a doctor has prescribed the wrong medication, or not the wrong medication, well, the wrong dosage of medication. So, for example, paracetamol, if it was a sort of regular sized adult, 2 paracetamol. If it was a tiny adult, it might just be 1 paracetamol. So the doctor prescribes medications, the nurse administers it. Now, as a nurse, if you administer what the doctor has prescribed and he has incorrectly prescribed, you as the nurse are accountable. So you as a nurse could be struck off for administering the dosage that the doctor has prescribed, which might be the wrong dose. The doctor does not get in trouble. That was the same when I started nursing way back in the 80s. It's the same now. So they have to get 100% in this exam, mathematics exam, to ensure that they are fully competent in the administration of medication. Now, yeah, if I was on the ward and a doctor had prescribed 2 paracetamol to a tiny lady, then I would just say to the doctor, oh, is this correct? But with all other medications, do you have to go and check with the doctor that everyone's correct? Or should you assume that a doctor who's trained for 7 years minimum has prescribed correctly? Now, to me, the doctor should be able to prescribe correctly. And if you administer it and the medication's wrong, yeah, you've got some professional accountability, but actually the doctor has too. Right, off my pedestal now. I worked in paediatrics, so mine was different. Every medication was completely different because you always went off the weight of the child. Because obviously you can't give a tiny baby the same amount as you would give a 12-year-old child. So, of, say, an antibiotic. So, yeah. But in adult medicine, but even so in paediatrics, blooming heck, in any medicine, you would expect the doctor to prescribe the right amount. Right, so let's get back to this. Flatten your leaf. Not your leaf, your flower. Flatten your flower. as sort of symmetrical as you can, matching up as symmetrical as you can. Right, so that's your first flower. Let's flatten them all down. They will sort of show you where they want to flatten. 2, 3. I know what I'm saying anyway. I know what I'm saying about medication. Right. You will get some that are just slightly off kilter, but I wouldn't worry too much. I wouldn't worry. Right. I don't mean doctors and medication, I mean flowers. Right, so the first one is here. You put some glue on this one. Blob of glue on there. Blob of glue on there. Just spread it out a little bit. And the second one, you line up to that flower there. And you take this one and you line up to that petal there. So I don't think that's got enough glue on. So did you catch that? Did you catch what I did then? So on your first one, blob of glue there, a blob of glue there, then you fasten your flowers. One there and one there. So I'm just going to press and hold that for a minute. So the next one, the third stage, you want 3. So these top petals, 3 blobs of glue, and you take your flower and you put it on there over the top. You know when you're thinking, oh gosh, I hope I'm doing this right. Just hold that down a bit. Right, and then you're sort of repeating what you've just done, but you're on the opposite way now. You want a blob of glue here and a blob of glue there. And you're going to put one petal there. So you're going over the top. This is why you need to be like as geometric as you possibly can. You put one there and you're going to put one here. Is that correct? Let's just have a look. Yep, one there. And you can just sort of judge and assess from your petal shapes which one matches up the absolute best. That's there. And then you've guessed it. Now this one, 30 seconds because I just need to quickly dry it. This was that first one I did. It's the water paints, watercolours. So this one, you're going to go back and do the top 3. 1, 2, 3. Right. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sort of petals, as it were, showing. Right. Let's just give that a minute up. You saw my diagram then. I did a diagram. Right. That's my own little sketch to remind me where to put everything. Right. That's there. So then we get the just move this out of the way. We get the file folder back, or whatever it is you're putting your, whether it be a card, a journal page, whatever. Get your flower back. Let's just make sure I'm on the right page here. Right, so so that one's there. That's next to the end. So I'm going to put one here. So what we do here now is we get our glue again. And this is going to go wherever you want it on the page, but you put the open V part, that's there, the bit with no petal, there, and let's first of all put a blob of glue on each top petal, and then you decide where on the page you want it to go. You put your two edges against the edge of your, those petal edges against your signature, and then you just close the signature, pray. Now when I first did it, like this one, I opened it and it popped out, but I needed to work it a bit, you know, to get it going exactly how I want it. So if this doesn't pop out exactly, it's not wrong, it just needs working and reminding where it's supposed to go. Right, shall we? There we. Yay! Whoop, it's come off there. Let's just stick that back on there. There we are. Yay! That has worked. Just close that up again and then open it up again. There you can see it's worked perfectly. So I am a very, very, very happy girl. So I hope you've enjoyed that video. Please leave me some comments below. I am going to be showing you how I made, I'm still in the process of making it, this grungy sort of bohemian style journal cover. I'm going to be showing you how I've done that. This will be within this next couple of days, but I'm going to show you a pink one. And I also need to show you what I made from, you remember the chocolate wrapper from a couple of days ago? I emptied my drawer and said I'll make something from a chocolate wrapper. It looks exactly like this. Well, this is what I made. So this what began life as a humble chocolate wrapper and has finished up as a very pretty vintage, little vintage style folder with some vintage ephemera. I used the plain cards I said I would use, and in there it's got a little journal of its own. So when I'm 100% finished with that, I've just got a few bits and pieces to add. I will give you a full flip through, and if you need to know how I made it, if you'd like to know, I will show you. So thank you so much for watching. Let's have another look at that flower. Yay! Do you know, you could end up just sort of putting them everywhere, couldn't you? Yay, that's the one we just did. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Come back and see me again. Thank you so much. Bye bye.